Okay. I am watching, what is it called? Ellen's Greatest Nights of Giveaways. I think there's only 3 episodes, but let me tell you, it's on Hulu. I've been crying like a baby. You know, I would just love to get to a point in life where I could just give people gifts that just change their lives. It's just like so emotional to watch this stuff. But today I spent most of the morning putting together my 2020 budget tracker and trackers. There's many of them. And I realized that I didn't really do this year a breakdown about my tracker for my student loans. You guys have seen this. This is now complete bitches. And it was this was my last big debt. You guys know I paid off all of my debt last month. And this tracker was my very last huge student loan debt of about $150,000. And I was inspired to do this because I saw a lot of things on Pinterest. Mine that right here and what I'm going to show you are very simple because I have not an artistic bone in my body. But if you go on Pinterest and just search like financial trackers, you can get a lot of really great inspiration if you want to do something more beautiful. But for me, simple is better because it just is. But this has kind of inspired me to pay off my loans quicker because it was a visual representation of what I needed to accomplish and then how far I've come. So these boxes were broken down into many $2,000 boxes. So every time I was able to put $2,000 towards my student loans, I would highlight it. And then after a year, I was able to finish it. And whether it's paying off debt or saving up for something, whether it's like your retirement fund or a wedding or a vacation, sometimes it's just really hard to continue because it's really easy to just want to take all that money and give it to yourself, whether in gifts or treats for other people or, whatever. But what I found was this tracker, debt-wise, really did help me stay committed because, again, it was a visual representation. So anytime I felt down, even if I was just able to cross off one block, that was still just one block closer to my financial goal, my financial freedom. And now that I am debt-free and moving towards other goals, I want to replicate this because there's a lot going on in my 2020 financial trackers, and I just wanted to take the time to, break it down and show you what I did. And that's it. So that is what today's Vlogmas is going to be. I like the Passion Planner. I have been using the Passion Planner for at least 4 or 5 years. This video is not sponsored by Passion Planner, but they did, in my latest planner, give me a discount code. So just use the code AJADANG, AJADANG, if you want to go ahead and grab your Passion Planner. I know many of you have been inspired to grab the Passion Planner since I've always talked about it, and I hope you guys love it as much as I did or do. So here are the different sizes. I like the big one. I actually don't know what the sizes are because every time I go online, they always seem to change their sizes. Let me check. Okay, so I like the dated planners just because I don't like writing in everything all the time. So they have dated, academic for you guys in school, and then undated if you just prefer that. Let's see. Oh, okay, so they have a small, medium, and large. I'm going to assume this is a large, and I'm going to assume this is a medium because that seems kind of small. You know what? I wish they kind of had like a graphic comparing the sizes so you could see. Yeah, I just really like the Passion Planner. I like the way it's broken down. I'll talk about this more in my 2020 goals video, but I do actually plan on launching my own planner. It's going to be more, it's obviously going to have a financial aspect to it, but also, you know, a daily life aspect to it, because I haven't really found a planner that kind of balances both daily life and financial life. So I've put one together myself, and hopefully that will be launching late next year. But anyways, let's get to the financial trackers. So we have a couple pages. I honestly spent almost 3 hours doing this. It was very intense. So we're going to start with my sinking funds. Sinking funds are basically when you want to save up for a large amount of money. A lot of people save up sinking funds for like HOAs or insurance, or if you know you need to buy a car, save up for a car. It's just a really great way to plan ahead and make sure that you're not surprised when the bill comes every year or twice a year. And this is actually my first time really committing to a sinking fund, because obviously my commitment for the past 2 years was getting out of debt. And now that I've done that, now we can start to become more financially healthy in other aspects of my life. So here are my sinking fund breakdowns. I have health insurance, car insurance, and renter's insurance. I have Bluehost, Squarespace, and Dropbox, which are all things that I use for work, and then Adobe Premiere. And then my friend is getting married in the summer. I have $1,500 left to save for that. I've already saved up $4,000. So I just have that little left to go. And then I put my gym here. I realize now that I'm looking at it, I probably shouldn't have put F45 in my sinking funds, because it is something that is taken out monthly out of my account. But it's already in pen, so I'm not going to change it. So what I did was I went through kind of my bank accounts to tally up how much money I need to save a year for each of these things. So we all know that I finally got health insurance. I lost my health insurance in the middle of last year, and then had to pay a very, very high premium of almost $600 until honestly I just decided to cancel it because I couldn't afford it. But now I have health insurance with Blue Cross Blue Shield that starts January 1st. I got it through Covered California, and I will pay about $300 a month for that health insurance. It's a very basic health insurance. So $300 times 12 is $3,600, and let me just double check my math so I don't sound like an idiot. So that's kind of how I went about my sinking funds, because even though right now my health insurance is taken out monthly, I'm going to call them once they give me all my information and my insurance card and see if they can just take it out either once a year or twice a year, just because I prefer. The way I work is I prefer to have lump sums of money just given away. I don't like seeing money taken out of my account every month. I'd rather save up for it and give it all to them once a year. So I broke down the boxes. Every box is kind of different depending on how much I have to save up. So for the health insurance, car insurance, and Jen's wedding, each box is worth $100. So every time I save $100, I'll go ahead and just color it in like my other debt tracker, and then hopefully I'll have all of these complete and colored in. Car insurance, you guys know I pay a fucking lot of money for car insurance because I have a little dings on my record. So it's going to be $3,500 a year for the next 2 years, and then after 2 years it'll go down because one of the dings will be officially off of my record. And then yeah, I did briefly mention in another video that I was going to, not currently going to, but eventually we'll get a new car. That's not going to happen anytime soon. So once I do plan to get a new car, then maybe in a year or in 2 years, I'll go ahead and add that to my sinking fund so I can go ahead and pay for a car in cash. And the only reason why I would get a new car is if is when Brian and I start to have a family. Can't really have a baby rolling around in a Fiat. I feel like that is a very unsafe thing to do. So I would want to upgrade to an SUV or a crossover of some sort. Renter's insurance. I've broken up this box into $50. And if you don't have renter's insurance, I would highly, highly, highly recommend it. Now, actually, the last two complexes that I've lived in LA make it a requirement for their tenants to have renter's insurance. But if you don't have it, I would highly recommend you getting it. The first year Brian and I had renter's insurance, we actually had a huge kitchen fire in our apartment, and I don't know if you guys were following me then, but I was burned all on my left face. Left side of my face, and we ended up having to move into a different unit because there was just so much water damage. But if it wasn't for having renter's insurance, I would have been out at least $30,000, because not only did we lose a lot of, like, my computer was ruined, we had a lot of, things that were destroyed because of the water, but the entire kitchen and the living room was just flooded. So we would have had to paid for that out of pocket ourselves. So thankfully we had renter's insurance to cover it, and we only had to pay, I think we only had to pay $1,000. So Bluehost and Squarespace are items that I use for my website. So those are things that I obviously have to save up for. Dropbox, I think should be free, but I actually have a premium membership that's about $500. And I use Dropbox a lot when I work with brands. It's just, in my opinion, easier to export and download and share video files, pictures through Dropbox versus like a Google Docs or whatever, because sometimes what I've noticed is Google Docs sometimes take a really long time to upload or export, or I've just had really bad experiences with it. So I have chosen to stick with Dropbox, and even though there is a fee that has sometimes scared me because I have been unprepared for it in the past, with my sinking funds, not only will I have that money saved, but I won't have to worry about scrambling and freaking out every time I get that bill every year. And then Adobe Premiere is what I use to edit my videos, so obviously I need that. And then Jen's wedding is in Cabo. It's an all-inclusive destination wedding, so I've budgeted $5,500 for that. And again, I've saved about $4,000, so I have $1,500 to go. And I have to say, the boxes might seem like a lot, but breaking them down into $150, $150, $20 boxes doesn't make the amount of money seem that scary. And again, I'm someone who is very visual and kind of needs that continued push to save for things. And I'm just really excited to get started on this. So that's my sinking funds. Next, we have our savings fund. So you guys know I follow Dave Ramsey's baby steps. The first step is to save $1,000 in your emergency fund. The second step is to pay off all of your debts except for your house. And your third step is to save up 3 to 6 months to boost up your original savings of $1,000 to 3 to 6 months of expenses. So now I am in baby step 3. And I'm going to do a breakdown of how I came to this financial goal in my savings account, because I think that, especially for women, I've mentioned this before, this includes kind of Brian's half of the rent. Just in case something were to happen, I want to make sure that I can comfortably live in this apartment until our lease is up, should anything happen. So that's included in this. So again, I'm going to break down more in depth my savings fund, but the goal is $40,000, and that is a lot of money, and it kind of freaks me out. But again, I think what I did was 5 months. That's 5 months of expenses for me. And again, as freelancer, you guys know this in my last video, I have not been paid in a month. So I am very, 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 very freaking out right now. Luckily, Up until this point, I actually had $5,000 in my savings account because $1,000 seemed a little bit too low for my type of employment. So I am definitely digging into that savings fund. I'll probably have to pull out $2,000 to last me until January. Which is kind of scary, or last me until not January, but my next payment, which I don't even know when that's going to be. So once I have my $40,000 emergency savings fund fully funded, I think I can finally breathe when it comes to financial security, because obviously paying off debt was a really, really huge accomplishment, especially how much I did and how quickly I did it. But I'm still freaking out over money. I'm still struggling financially. I have a very, very, very low amount in my checking account. So once I take that extra step and save my goal into my savings fund, I think I can confidently have financial security, knowing that I will always be safe and protected should I not get paid for a month or two. So here's my savings fund. Again, it's $40,000, and I've broken them up into $2,000 blocks. We have some text, financial security, you're halfway there, and then holy shit, you did it, $40,000 is complete. And similar to my sinking funds, every time I contribute $22,000 to my emergency savings funds, I'll go ahead and highlight that. Of course, the goal is to be able to save this money as quickly as possible. I'm hoping to be able to save this kind of money by April or May. But again, I work a lot, but it's not dependent on me. It's dependent on when these brands want to fucking pay me. The disrespect, I tell you, people. Okay, so this page is blank. This is going to be for my retirement, and it is blank because I'm not going to start that until I'm done with my savings fund. The plan is, since I am an independent contractor and don't have access to a 401k, I'm going to contribute to my Roth IRA. As a single woman under 65, I believe, you can max that contribution out to $6,000. And then after that, I'm going to move into my SEP account. And let me get SEP. So a SEP IRA is the Simplified Employee Pension Individual Retirement Arrangement. So after I max out my Roth IRA, any money that's, I think it's either 25% of your income or $52,000, that's the max amount you can contribute to that. The rest that I can contribute will go into my SEP IRA. Proper video won't happen until I actually start the process fully. So hopefully by the summer. And then next we have this cute little child drawing of a house. I want to save $200,000 in LA. That's a pretty standard down payment for a very disappointing house that will probably have to do a lot of work on. And again, this is not something I'm going to concentrate too much on until I finish my emergency savings fund, but the goal is $200,000. And each box is represented by $300. So again, every time I save up, boop, 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 color it in. And I intentionally left the other side of this blank because I obviously am not going to, let's not say that because you never know. But assuming that I don't finish this in a year, I can go ahead and rip this page out and just kind of glue it or staple it or tape it into my next year's or 2021's planner so I don't have to redo this whole thing. And then finally, we have a wedding budget. Each heart is represented by $2,000. As you can tell at this point, I kind of was like, okay, I'm fucking over it. Let's just get it done. So $2,000, the goal. You guys are fucking freaking me out over this shit. What was I talking about? It was one of my videos just earlier this month. I was like, you know what? How much money should I save for a wedding? You're like, $20,000, $50,000, $60,000. I'm like, what the fuck? And the funny thing is that you guys were also kind of penny pinching too. So expenses are or weddings are very expensive. So I thought $60,000 would be a very healthy budget. And between Brian and I think we could we could definitely save for that. And then anything we don't use, hopefully we come under budget, it will either be added to the down payment or to a honeymoon. So those are my current financial trackers. Again, just being able to be very interactive with your money has really helped me kind of stay the course and stay motivated on things that maybe you don't necessarily want to do with your money. You don't really want to pay off your loans. You don't really want to save for your homeowners association fees, but it's something that we have to do. And if we have to do them, might as well make it fun, right? Yeah. So that's it. I am in my Christmas onesie. Oh, hi, Lukey. I didn't even know you were there. By the way, this is from MeUndies. Very, very comfortable. If you've never touched their undies before, highly recommend it. But yeah, that is what's happening today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section. We're very active. I love my community. Unless you're a fucking asshole in my comment section, then you're deleted and yelled at and blocked. But yeah, I guess the Vlogmas question of the vlog is, what are you hoping to save for next year? What is your big savings goal that you hope to accomplish by 2020? Okay, I'm Aisha Day. It's Lukey, Levi somewhere, and we say bye. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. Bye. Thanks for watching. He hates me. Okay. Bye.